Stop scrolling. Do you drive in the UK? Because what I'm about to tell you could cost you hundreds or even thousands of pounds this year. From fines for your number plate, seatbelt, or even small mistakes on your license to shocking new tech that catches you automatically on the road. If you miss this, it could ruin your wallet. And trust me, you will want to know every single change coming in 2026 before it's too late. I've put together everything you must know about driving fines, insurance traps, digital licenses, and even rules for older drivers and electric cars, all in one video. Stick with me till the end, because skipping even a few seconds could cost you a small fortune. If you drive, if you plan to buy a car, or if you simply want to stay safe and save money, this channel is built just for you. I upload content like this every week, breaking down exactly what you need to know to avoid fines, hidden costs, and expensive mistakes. So hit that subscribe button right now, because this isn't just any channel. This is your guide to staying safe, legal, and ahead of the game on UK roads. Don't wait for the fines to hit. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's make sure 2026 doesn't cost you a fortune. Let me start by talking about something that could cost you £300 right away. If you are caught driving without proper insurance in the United Kingdom, you will face a minimum fixed penalty of £300 and receive between 6 to 8 penalty points on your license week over. Now, you might be thinking that this is not new, and you would be right, but what is changing is how easily you can get caught. The police are now using something called ANPR cameras, which stands for automatic number plate recognition, and these cameras are everywhere. Authorities, including the police, are using automated cameras to spot untaxed or untested vehicles more easily than ever before CarWow. These cameras can scan your number plate and instantly check it against the motor insurance database to see if your car is insured. If it is not insured, boom, you get caught automatically without even being pulled over by a police officer. But here is where it gets really expensive. The £300 fine is just the beginning. When your insurer sees your new conviction at renewal time, they will view you as a higher risk driver, leading to a substantial premium increase that typically affects your premiums for 3 to 5 years week over. So that initial £300 fine could end up costing you thousands of pounds over the next few years in higher insurance costs. Some estimates suggest that a single driving conviction can cost certain drivers more than £10,000 over their lifetime when you add up all the hidden costs. Now let me talk about what is happening in March specifically. The new 26 signifier plates will be released from March 1st, with experts warning that drivers with non-compliant registrations could face penalties of up to £1,000 GB news. This is important because the government is really cracking down on illegal number plates. They are particularly concerned about what they call ghost plates, which are number plates that have been altered or modified to avoid detection by those ANPR cameras I just mentioned. The rules for number plates are actually quite strict, and a lot of people do not realize they are breaking them. Front plates are required to display black characters on a white reflective background, while rear plates must feature black lettering against yellow, and a standardized typeface has been mandatory since September 2001 GB News. If your plates do not meet these standards, you could be fined, and it is not just about fancy illegal plates. Even something as simple as having a tinted or smoked-looking plate is illegal and can get you a £100 fine on the spot. But the really big change that everyone needs to know about is the digital driving license. The UK government is continuing its digital transformation with a full rollout of digital driving licenses expected by 2027. And while physical cards will still be valid, drivers will be encouraged to keep their digital information updated, including address and medical details, and not doing so could result in fines or issues with enforcement quick fit. What this means is that the government is creating a digital version of your driving license that you can access on your smartphone through something called the Govid UK Wallet app. Now, you might be wondering why this matters and why you should care. Here is the critical part. Failing to ensure your details are correct could result in motorists being slapped with a fine of up to £1,000 according to the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency GB News. Think about that for a second. If your address is not updated on your license, or if you have not reported a medical condition that affects your driving, you could be fined up to £1,000. This is a huge deal because a lot of people move house and forget to update their driving license address. Under the new system, keeping your information current is going to be even more important. March is also significant because of changes to the driving test booking system. From March 31st, 2026, you will only be allowed to make 2 changes to your car driving test appointment after you have booked it Gov UK. This might not sound like a big deal if you are not currently learning to drive, but for learner drivers, this is a major change. The government is doing this to stop people from block booking test slots and then selling them or constantly rescheduling. It is part of an effort to make the system fairer for everyone who is trying to get their driving test. Another really important change that is coming this year relates to seat belts. Right now, if you get caught not wearing a seat belt, you can be fined up to £500. But under the new proposals, you would also receive 3 penalty points on your license for not wearing your seatbelt auto trader. And here is something that catches a lot of people out. If you are the driver and you have passengers in your car who are not wearing seatbelts, you can be held responsible for them. Drivers must ensure all passengers are belted up before setting off, and failure to do so means the driver can be held fully responsible for every unrestrained passenger quick fit. So if you have 3 passengers and none of them are wearing seatbelts, you could potentially face multiple fines and penalty points. The authorities are also getting much better at catching seatbelt violations because they are now using artificial intelligence cameras that can detect whether someone in a moving vehicle is wearing a seatbelt or not. These cameras can spot violations automatically and issue fines without a police officer needing to pull you over. This is the same technology that catches people using mobile phones while driving. Let me talk about changes that affect older drivers, because this is really important. A government consultation running from January to March 2026 is proposing mandatory eye tests at 70-plus license renewal London Business Insider. Currently, when you turn 70, you have to renew your driving license every 3 years, but the system relies on you self-certifying that you can still see well enough to drive. The new proposals would make eye tests mandatory as part of the renewal process. This change is being driven by serious concerns about road safety because there have been fatal collisions where poor eyesight was a contributing factor. The general eyesight rule that already exists says that you must be able to read a number plate from 20 meters away. In 2026, police will be encouraged to carry out more roadside eyesight checks RAM safe. So even if you are not 70 yet, you could be stopped by police and asked to read a number plate from a certain distance. If you cannot do it, you could lose your license on the spot. Another change that is going to hit people in the wallet is related to electric vehicles. For years, electric cars have been essentially tax-free, which has been a big incentive for people to buy them. If you bought a new electric car from April 1st, 2025, it is no longer completely tax-free, and from its second year on the road, you will need to pay £195 per year car wow. Additionally, if you have an expensive electric vehicle, the expensive car supplement of an extra £410 per year tax will start applying to electric vehicles, though the threshold is expected to rise to £50,000 easy number plates. This is a big change for anyone who bought or is thinking about buying an electric car. If you drive in London, you need to know about the congestion charge changes. As of January 2026, London's congestion charge has increased to £18 per day, or £21 if paid within 3 days of travel quick fit. Even worse for electric vehicle owners, the 100% cleaner vehicle discount officially ended on the 25th of December 2025, and electric vehicles now receive only a 25% discount, paying £13.50 daily quick fit. If you drive into central London regularly, this could add hundreds of pounds to your annual driving costs. Fuel is also going to get more expensive. Fuel duty will rise from September 2026, ending the long-standing 5 pence per litre cut car wow. For the past many years, the government has frozen fuel duty to help with the cost of living, but that freeze is ending. When fuel duty goes up, it affects the price of petrol and diesel at the pump, which means it will cost more to fill up your car. For someone who drives a lot, this could mean spending hundreds of pounds more per year on fuel. Company car drivers are also going to be affected. Benefit-in-kind rates for electric company cars will rise from 3% to 4% in the 2026 to 2027 financial year, while rates for higher emission vehicles may reach as much as 37%. Auto Trader. Benefit in kind is the tax you pay when you get a car through your company's salary sacrifice scheme. Even though the increase sounds small, it can add up to significant money over the course of a year. Now let me talk about something that is going to affect anyone who buys a new car in March or later. Since July 2024, it has been a legal requirement for almost all new cars sold in the UK to be fitted with Intelligent Speed Assistance easy number plates. This is technology that monitors your speed, and if you exceed the speed limit, the car will flash a warning light on your dashboard, sound a repetitive chime, and in some cases, the engine automatically reduces power to slow you down. Easy number plates. You can turn this system off, but it reactivates every single time you restart the car. Some people find this really annoying, but it is now mandatory on new vehicles, and it is designed to reduce speeding and accidents. There are also changes coming to the driving theory test for learner drivers. Learner drivers will face new questions on resuscitation CPR and using an automated external defibrillator in the theory test CarWow. The government hopes that by teaching these emergency response skills to new drivers, more people will know how to help if they come across a serious accident or if someone has a cardiac arrest. The changes will not make the test longer or harder overall, but learners will need to study this new material. Another proposed change that could affect everyone is the drink-drive limit. The current limit of 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood may be reduced to 50 milligrams to align with the stricter limit followed in Scotland. Auto Trader. This would make England and Wales match Scotland's lower limit. What this means in practical terms is that even 1 pint of beer could potentially put you over the limit, depending on your size and other factors. The safest approach is always to not drink any alcohol at all if you are planning to drive. Let me explain why all of these changes matter so much. The government and police are using more and more technology to catch driving offenses automatically. Those ANPR cameras I mentioned earlier are being installed everywhere. Automated number plate recognition camera usage is being expanded by police and enforcement agencies to catch untaxed or untested vehicles. And driving without a valid MOT tax or registration could lead to fines and even invalidate your insurance quick fit. The key thing to understand is that you can get caught and fined without ever being pulled over by a police officer. The cameras see your car, check the databases, and if something is wrong, a fine gets sent to your address automatically. This brings me to a really important point about insurance. A lot of people do not realize this, but if your car does not have a valid MOT certificate, your insurance can be invalidated. That means even though you paid for insurance, if your MOT has expired, your insurance company could refuse to pay out if you have an accident. Then you would be driving without valid insurance, which, as I mentioned earlier, carries that minimum £300 fine plus 6 to 8 penalty points and can lead to much higher insurance costs for years afterward. The cost of making mistakes on the road in 2026 is higher than ever before. The insurance premium surcharge from getting penalty points typically affects your premiums for 3 to 5 years that the conviction must be declared week over. Think about what that means. If you get caught speeding or using your mobile phone while driving, yes, you pay the initial fine, which might be £100 or £200, but then every time you renew your insurance for the next 3 to 5 years, your premium goes up significantly because insurance companies see you as a higher risk. One mistake can literally cost you thousands of pounds over time. There is also something called loss of no claims discount that people need to understand. If you have been driving safely for years without making insurance claims, you build up a no claims discount, which reduces your insurance premium significantly. If your offense was part of an at-fault accident, you could lose some or all of your hard-earned no claims discount, pushing your base premium up even before the conviction surcharge is added. Week over, losing your no claims discount can double or even triple your insurance costs. For people with certain medical conditions, there are strict rules about reporting them to the DVLA. Drivers must notify the DVLA if they develop a condition that could affect their driving, and failure to do so can lead to fines, license revocation, invalid insurance, and legal responsibility following an accident. London Business Insider. Conditions that must be reported include things like diabetes, epilepsy, sleep apnea, and various vision problems. If you have one of these conditions and you do not report it, and then you have an accident, you could be prosecuted and your insurance will not be valid. There is also talk about introducing self-driving cars onto UK roads in 2026. Self-driving cars will have to meet strict safety standards just like human drivers and are designed to cut accidents and make getting around easier. Wow. While this might sound futuristic, the technology is advancing quickly and we could start seeing these vehicles on our roads this year. From November 2026, there is another big change coming. All new cars and vans must meet Euro 7 emission standards, which are stricter rules designed to cut pollution and improve air quality across the UK. Wow. This affects car manufacturers more than individual drivers, but it means that new cars will be cleaner and more environmentally friendly, though potentially more expensive to buy. So what should you actually do to avoid getting caught out by all these changes? First and most importantly, make sure your driving license details are up to date. Check that the address on your license matches where you actually live. If you have moved house and not updated your license, do it now before the digital system rolls out fully. You can update your address online through the government website. Second, make sure your vehicle tax and MOT are always current. Set up reminders on your phone or sign up for email reminders from the DVLA. Remember that driving without valid tax or MOT can get you fined automatically by those ANPR cameras, and it can invalidate your insurance, which opens up a whole world of problems. Third, if you have any medical conditions that might affect your driving, make sure you have reported them to the DVLA. Do not take chances with this, because the consequences of not reporting can be severe, including prosecution if you have an accident. Fourth, always wear your seatbelt and make sure everyone in your car is wearing theirs before you start driving. With the new AI cameras detecting seatbelt violations and the increased penalties, including penalty points, this is more important than ever. Fifth, if you drink any alcohol at all, do not drive. Even small amounts can impair your driving, and with the possibility of the drink-drive limit being lowered, it is just not worth the risk. The penalties for drink driving are severe and include lengthy driving bans, large fines, and even prison sentences in serious cases. Sixth, never use your mobile phone while driving unless it is in a proper hands-free mount. The fine for using a phone while driving is £200 and 6 penalty points. If you passed your test within the last 2 years, 6 points means you lose your license entirely and have to retake your test. Seventh, stick to speed limits. With the new intelligent speed assistance technology in newer cars and more speed cameras than ever, speeding is easier to get caught for, and the fines and points add up quickly. Eighth, make sure your number plates are legal and properly fitted. Do not use fancy fonts or tinted plates no matter how good they look, because the fines can be up to £1,000, and with the government cracking down on illegal plates, enforcement is getting stricter. Ninth, if you are over 70 or approaching that age, make sure you can still read a number plate from 20 meters away. If you are having any trouble with your vision, get it checked by an optician. Mandatory eye tests may be coming soon for license renewals, and even before they become mandatory, police can test your eyesight at the roadside. 10th, budget for the fact that driving is getting more expensive. Fuel costs are going up, electric vehicle tax breaks are ending, congestion charges are increasing, and insurance costs keep rising. Make sure you factor all of these costs into your budget so you are not caught off guard. The bottom line is that 2026 is a year of major change for UK drivers. The government is using more technology to catch violations automatically, penalties are getting stricter, and the hidden long-term costs of making mistakes are higher than ever. But if you stay informed, keep your paperwork up to date, drive safely and legally, and follow all the rules, you will be fine. The goal of all these changes is to make the roads safer for everyone and to bring the UK's driving laws into the modern digital age. Do not wait until you get a fine to start paying attention to these changes. Take action now to make sure everything is in order with your license, your vehicle, your insurance, and your driving habits. A few minutes spent checking and updating your details now could save you hundreds or thousands of pounds in fines and increased insurance costs down the road. Stay safe, stay legal, and stay informed about these important changes that are happening throughout 2026. So hit that subscribe button right now, because this isn't just any channel. This is your guide to staying safe, legal, and ahead of the game on UK roads. Don't wait for the fines to hit. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's make sure 2026 doesn't cost you a fortune.